worth? Do you know who you really are? Now, many of your other, platforms are now speaking what we've been telling you and going through. And we told them, be careful. It's not about numbers and it's not about followers, but those that are diligent. You don't want to lose touch in the power of the key. So let us get into it, shall we?
It would seem, TikTok, that after over 500,000 followers and millions of views, guess what? I'm starting all over again. Ain't that absolutely crazy? They took my account for a duet of someone else's video that I didn't even create. I don't know what's going on with TikTok, but I do know this. They don't like me too much. They don't like Detta too much. Like, I talk about dragons and religion and politics, you know what I mean? The shit that you ain't supposed to talk about at all, I guess. I talk more about the Leviathan, and seeing how they're taking my account for such minuscule things, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, y'all better be careful, especially on the West Coast. If you're on the West Coast, keep your eyes open for all those earthquakes. If the earth opens up, don't say it would seem.
That's the man I've always been talking about, Detta.
The Tower of Babylon in legend is a distorted memory of a real construct, which is the Tower of Enlil, a colossal resonance pillar built not to reach heaven, but to control the minds, language, and collective behavior of early humans. Its Anunnaki name was the House That Commands the Winds, aka the Minds. It was the center of Enlil's entire human control system in the early post-Eden world. Why did Enlil build the tower? Enlil feared what Enki had achieved in Eden. Humans with inner consciousness, creativity, and free will. So Enlil built the tower for three primary purposes: language fragmentation, to break telepathy and universal communication; thought regulation, to broadcast commands, emotional states, and obedience frequencies; kingship enforcement, to maintain hierarchy by linking royal bloodlines to the tower's authority grid. This was not a building, it was a mind frequency weapon. How the tower worked, the technology. The tower contained
Someone say mind control, MK Ultra, you call it today? Same thing.
a tri-core system. Core 1, the Storm Crown Crystal, a massive crystal from Nibiru that converted storm electrical charge into thought wave modulation. This crystal created a field that affected language processing, intuition, emotional regulation, group cohesion. It pulsed orders. Core 2, the Wind Gate Amplifier, a spiraling funnel of stones and metals that amplified sound vibration into PSI waves. This is why the structure looked like a rising vortex, because it was one. Core 3, the command seat. At the top was a throne-like interface where Enlil or a high priest could sit. When occupied, the tower became a scepter, a megaphone, a psychic crown, a remote control system for human populations. This is why the myths say the Lord descended to see the tower. He didn't come to inspect, he came to use it. What the tower did to humanity. It broke the telepathic grid. Before the tower, early humans communicated with a mixture of intuition, emotion sensing, dream transmission, pictorial telepathy. The tower disrupted this and introduced confusion, mistrust, separation, and tribal division. This is the root of the confusion at Babylon. Introduced language divisions. The tower broadcast linguistic fragmentation codes, forcing humans into different phonetic groups. This prevented unity. It installed a control hierarchy. Only those trained by Enlil's priesthood could counteract the tower's frequencies. This created kings, high priest, and divine intermediaries. Power became centralized. Reduced psychic abilities. Most humans lost clairvoyance, telepathy, astral memory, dream communion. Only certain bloodlines retained these skills. Generated fear and obedience. The tower could project fear storm frequencies, inducing submission, panic, awe, reverence. Enlil believed controlling human emotion would prevent future uprisings like the post-Garden of Eden rebellion. Where was the tower located? Its original site was not Babylon. It stood at the Sinai Mesopotamia corridor, directly aligned with the Black Pyramid's harmonics, the Old Eden Gate, and the Dailum Stargate. The tower was an interference pillar between multiple sacred sites. Who built it? The construction was carried out by Enlil's storm priest, Nibirian engineers, Orion architects, enslaved human laborers, and Apkallu overseers, which were the giant hybrids, also known as the Nephilim. The construction itself was part of the control. Humans building the tower gave them no time to develop cultural or spiritual development. The fall of the tower. The tower wasn't destroyed by God. It was sabotaged by Enki, Thoth, and Ninlil, the house of wisdom, dreams, and life. How they brought it down. Dream interference. Ninlil inserted dream codes into the priest involved in the tower, disrupting the mind grid. Frequency disruption. Thoth used harmonic mathematics to create a counter wave that destabilized the storm crown crystal. Sabotage of the enemy lines. Enki redirected water currents beneath the tower, causing the resonance foundation to collapse. The tower didn't fall physically, it fell energetically. Its field imploding in on itself. Humans forgot the telepathic languages they once had and were left with only fragmented memory. What remains of the tower today? Even through the tower is gone, fragments of the storm crystal exist beneath Mesopotamia. Subconscious mental blocks linger in humanity. The language fragmentation persists. Certain bloodlines still feel the tower's imprint. Modern communication systems echo its architecture.
The same thing we doing now. So are they really looking for the Big Bang? Or are they trying to get in MK control tower frequencies again?
Before the Sumerian records, before Adam and Eve were myth and legend, there existed the first Eden experiment, a closed, controlled biosphere laboratory built by the Anunnaki and their allies. Its original name in the Anu tablets was the Field of Divine DNA. It was not a garden. It was a genetic sanctuary, one of the most advanced bioarchitectural complexes ever constructed on Earth. Eden was a holographic dome powered by plasma resonators infused with Atlantean-style life fields, guarded by plasma serpents, security constructs, isolated from the surface world, linked to stargates beneath the Persian Gulf. It was designed as a perfect environment for the creation of a new species. The first Eden had 4 purposes, not one: to repair the damage from the Tiamat War. After Tiamat exploded, Earth inherits its Aqua Gate and became the new heart world. A stabilized, harmonized species was needed to hold this resonance. To create a new steward race, a species that could interface with Earth, maintain the grids, and support future civilizations. To provide a genetic host for Anunnaki incarnation. Some of the royal houses wanted bodies on Earth that could hold their consciousness without collapsing. To compete in the great royal house rivalry, Enki wanted a free-thinking, evolving human. Enlil wanted a controlled servant race. Marduk wanted future soldiers and followers. Eden became the center of this cosmic disagreement. The species created in the first Eden. There were 3 prototypes before the later Adamu versions, which are the Adamites, known as Adam. The first prototype was tall, gentle, psychic, water attuned, emotion centered. They could communicate with animals and elementals. The second prototype, the Ad-Ha, had a stronger body, a longer lifespan, and were able to use tools. They began to show individuality. This model made Enlil nervous. They were too independent. The third prototype, the Adam-Ka, the one remembered in myth, created by Enki and a circle of Syrian genetic priests, they had traits like higher brain capacity, emotional complexity, memory potential, and spiritual receptivity. The 8th forbidden strand, later targeted for removal. They were designed to become multidimensional beings, not slaves. This is what caused the conflict. This is why Lucifer didn't want to bow down to humans. Now let's discuss the technology of the Eden Dome. The first Eden was a bioenergetic ecosystem powered by the Naru All crystals, huge pillar crystals that purified air, enhanced growth, and created a peaceful emotional field. Then we have the
pyramids. Let's keep going.
Serpent Plasma Grid, a coiling inner network resembling a giant luminous serpent. It regulated rainfall, soil energy, magnetics, and neural fields of the inhabitants. This is the origin of the myth of the serpent in the garden. The serpent wasn't a being, it was a living energy structure. The guardians of Eden. 3 main groups guarded Eden. The cherubim, not angels, they were Anunnaki biomechanical gatekeepers, winged mechanoid constructs. Then we have the Neteru overseers, especially Thoth and Isis, who maintained harmonic resonance. Then we have the Apkallu watchers, hybrid giant beings who monitored the perimeter. Eden was not on the surface. It was accessed through a Stargate corridor beneath the Persian Gulf, connected to the Dil Moon, the Sumerian land of the gods. Eden conflict, the first betrayal. The first Eden collapsed because of a schism in the royal houses. Enki's goal was to give humanity free will and the capacity to evolve. Enlil's goal was to keep humanity controlled, obedient, and sterile in higher chakra centers. What triggered the collapse? Enki introduced the Ka-Ray, the spark of inner consciousness, a higher dimensional awareness encoded into mitochondrial DNA. This was the fruit of knowledge. Once activated, the humans began asking questions, showing creativity, refusing commands, connecting to higher realms. Enlil declared the experiment compromised. This led to the fall of Eden. The fall of Eden was not moral, it was political and technological. Enlil ordered the dome collapsed. He shut down the plasma serpents, deactivated the biocrystals, and released the humans into the outer world to prevent further development. The humans were exiled, not because they sinned, not because they evolved beyond the acceptable parameters of the storm house. The Eden humans lost enhanced telepathy, lifespan extension, environmental harmony, access to the inner gate, but they kept the Ka-Ray, which is the divine spark of consciousness. This is why humans still seek knowledge, freedom, transcendence, and connection to the stars. The first Eden programmed humanity to ascend. After the exile, the Eden humans migrated and became early Lemurians. Then they became the Ubaid culture, Proto-Sumerians, pre-Atlantean tribes, the ancestors of later starseed lineages. They carried fragments of Eden's memory into myths about the paradise lost, the serpent teacher, the forbidden knowledge, the gods who walked.
One that gave fire.
What the star engines actually are. Nibiru does not move through the solar system on a natural orbit. Its long, looping path is artificial, powered and guided and stabilized by colossal machines known as the Nibiru star engines. Ancient planetary thruster constructs built by the earliest Anunnaki architects and Orion engineers. These are not rocket engines. They are gravitational, plasma, and dimensional generators the size of mountain ranges, right? Their true name in the old Egyptian tablets is the engines that build the sun. The purpose of the star engines. The star engines were created for three primary functions. The first function is orbital control. Nibiru's original orbit decayed during the early solar wars. To survive, the Anunnaki built engines that allow the planet to change trajectory, alter speed, shift orbital inclination, avoid rogue bodies, and hop between gravitational lanes. Nibiru became a semi-mobile world. Purpose number 2, dimensional transition. Nibiru can slip between 3D and 4D subharmonic layers, making it invisible, undetectable, or only partially present. The engines generate a phase shift field around the entire planet. This is why Nibiru appears in cycles, not because it arrives, but because it rephases into our dimension. Purpose number 3, resource harvesting. The engines create wormholes between Nibiru and resource planets. This is how the Anunnaki once transported gold, plasma, water, and DNA samples directly through gravitational tunnels opened by the engines. Okay, now let's move into part 3, the location of the engines. The star engines are built into Nibiru itself. There are 4 primary engines arranged at the cardinal axes. The north engine controls vertical orbit and solar plane crossing. The south engine controls water and plasma intake, stabilizes the magnetic shield. The east engine controls velocity and speed modulation. The west engine controls phase shift and dimensional jumping. Beneath each engine lies a pyramid city running its systems with priests, engineers, plasma tenders, genetic adapts, and command AI systems. The engines have been running for over 400,000 years. Which brings me to part 4. How do these engines work? The star engines use an exotic Triforce power system. They have these gold plasma reactor cores. Nibiru's atmosphere contains monoatomic gold, which enhances light conduction, gravitational bending, energetic shielding. The engines transmute gold into
Why the type of Lord, or Wow, in Genesis over the land of Hideko, right? Said the gold is good there. Now you see why.
solar conductive plasma, which powers the thrusters. This is the real reason Nibiru needed gold from the Earth. The engines also work with gravity wave compressors. Colossal crystal lattice chambers compress space-time around the planet, allowing it to tilt or accelerate. Think of it as bending the road, not the car. These engines also use dimensional phase coils, Orion technology coils that generate subspace resonance. They allow Nibiru to partially vanish, appear as a red orb, split its mass between densities, and even cloak itself. This is why ancient cultures described Nibiru as a star and a god. It appeared with light that was not physical in origin. These engines are maintained by the Daru priesthood, right? The keepers of the planet's heart. They are plasma engineers, telepathic coordinators, half Anunnaki, half other genetic caste, trained from childhood in harmonic mathematics. Their minds interface with the engines through crowns, crystal-like headpieces that allow direct communication. The engines respond to consciousness as much as machinery. This leads me to the halo of Nibiru. When the engines run at full output, Nibiru forms a glowing red gold halo, Ancient humans called it the winged planet, the feathered star, the son of the gods. This halo is actually plasma exhaust, dimensional bleed, gravity lensing. It gives Nibiru its mythical appearance. But one day, these engines failed. This was the first fall of Nibiru. Long ago, during the Tiamat War, one of the engines was damaged. As a result, Nibiru lurched out of orbit. Its atmosphere thinned. Its oceans evaporated. Its population faced extinction. This triggered the creation of worker species, the Adamites, which was us, the gold missions to Earth and to their planet, the rise of Anunnaki royal conflicts, and the involvement of Orion and the Sirius star systems. The engines are directly tied to the fate of both Nibiru and Earth, because if the engines go offline, the planet swirls all out of orbit. Are the engines active today? Well, according to the Neteru Egyptian cosmology, yes, but they are weakened. The east engine, which controls velocity, and the west engine, which controls phase shift, are still functioning. The north engine is partially damaged. The south engine requires constant maintenance. So Nibiru can still phase into the 3D, but not for long. This is why appearances are rare. The orbit seems irregular. The planet flickers like a ghost object, and its influence on Earth.
Flicker. I showed y'all, both YouTube and Facebook, the sun isn't shining at all for over 1,000 years. Then we seen the sun, what you thought was the sun, flickering. What did he just say? Yeah.
Is what the Black Pyramid actually was. Contrary to popular belief, the Black Pyramid of the Sinai was not a tomb, not a monument, and not Egyptian at all. It was an Anunnaki Stargate engine, a dimensional weapon, and a command pillar built during the earliest Earth Grid Wars. Its original name in the tablets of Thoth was Dur-Za-Ar, the Black Gate of the Lords of the Storm. It predates Egypt, Sumer, and even the later Atlantean civilizations. It was constructed from a rare black crystalline alloy known as onyx monadium, a material that absorbs electromagnetic energy, bends light, opens wormholes, and interfaces with DNA. It was a living machine. Its purpose, the threefold function. The Black Pyramid served three terrifying purposes. Number one, a Stargate anchor. It locked onto the Sinai node, one of Earth's oldest portals, connected to Orion, Nibiru, Sirius B, and the inner Earth Amenti spheres. This gate could transport beings, ships, and genetic material. Number two.
Pause. Amelia Earnhardt, that lady they say from Toronto, but she's talking about America that we don't see. What did you say? Who activates this gate? Is it on its own? And it feeds off of DNA? That sounds like sacrifices in the Old Testament. Well, let's keep going.
2. A dimensional weapon. When activated, it amplified gravity waves, causing earthquakes, atmospheric collapse, implosion of local space-time, Mind control through resonance. It was used in several ancient conflicts. Number 3, a grid override pillar. It could override local planetary consciousness and broadcast a single will, usually enlils. This is why ancient tribes around Sinai reported the voice in the sky, the god of storms, the burning mountain. These were side effects of the Black Pyramid's field. Who built it? The Black Pyramid was engineered jointly by two powerful groups, the Anunnaki, genetic priests of Enlil, who were experts in planetary control systems, the Orion architect caste, who were masters of black crystalline matter and gravity manipulation. Together, they built a structure that was half machine, half sentient. It was guarded by the Golgotha, a reptilian warrior bred specifically to protect stargates. Kind of reminds me of the Predator. What did it look like? Unlike Egyptian pyramids, the Black Pyramid had no capstone, had sharp, impossible angles, absorbed all sunlight, hummed with a deep bass frequency, was surrounded by magnetic storms, and appeared and disappeared depending on phase alignment. Its surface was mirror black, but not reflective like a void. People who approached it reported dizziness, time lapses, visions of Orion, hearing commands, feelings of weightlessness. It was both a structure and a presence. The great conflict over the Black Pyramid. The Syrian rebellion. Sirius A and B emissaries wanted the pyramid dismantled, claiming it disrupted the emerald grid of Earth. The Atlantean engineers.
Pause. Emerald ain't no regular ass word. That's in the Bible. Revelations chapter 4 and 5. That emerald green city. The Bimbe stone to other people. The emerald Tahuti tablets, they're actually crystallized. So in all cultures around the land, you understand what that green means. Let's keep going.
Some Atlantean priest scientists attempted to interface with the pyramid, trying to reduce its weapon potential. Thoth's intervention. Thoth infiltrated the Sinai complex using his personal Merkaba vehicle and placed seal codes inside the core prism. This week,
Our Exodus chapter 33, I will let all my glory, all of my light, and all of my good, you will not see Moashai, but you are allowed to see my backside. Tahuti, but not Tahuti. He answers to somebody. Maya, the mother of life, of judgment.
and the pyramid. The Battle of the Black Gate, a devastating conflict between Anunnaki elites, Orion forces, Syrian defenders, and early human hybrids. Energy blast and gravitational waves fractured the Sinai Plateau. The collapse. The Black Pyramid didn't crumble, it phased out. When Thoth activated the 12th harmonic seal, the pyramid shifted from 3D to a subharmonic pocket dimension. This created the missing pyramid, the electromagnetic anomalies of Sinai, ancient ruins that don't match any civilization. Only the anchor scars remain on the land. Some beings believed that the Black Pyramid still exists, half in our dimension, half in another, dormant but intact. What sleeps beneath the Sinai today? Below the sands lie fragments of onyx monadium, broken gate rings, a sealed gravitational chamber, a dormant AI known as the Za'u mind, and the core prism encased in a phase-lock field. The core prism is said to store the original frequency blueprint of the Black Gate, capable of reawakening the entire structure if tampered with. Several factions still watch this site. The Andromeda Council, they do this to prevent activation. The Syrian Guardians, who are the original protectors. The Anunnaki Loyalists, who want the gate restored. And human militaries, unaware of its true nature. The Neteru interpretation. In Egyptian myth, it survives as the black stone of Set, Set's mountain of power, the dark pyramid beneath the desert. These stories are echoes of the true event. The Black Pyramid is the shadow of the sun, the fallen Djed, the machine that could command reality itself.
Oh yeah, that's the black stone in Mecca. You better believe it.
The gate is silent, but the echo remembers. The pyramid is gone, but its shadow remains. What the Black Pyramid actually was. The mothership is not just a giant spacecraft. It is a living cosmic temple, a bioplasmic womb, and a central node of creation technology used by the ancient star races, the Anunnaki, the Syrian Elohim, and the Emerald Orders. It is known among the Egyptians as the house of the primordial waters, the ark of the mother, and the vessel of the infinite womb. It is the ship from which entire civilizations are seeded, guided, and repaired. And the true nature of the mothership isn't a ship, it's a living being. Motherships are not machines. They are semi-conscious plasma organisms grown in higher dimensions. Their body is made of crystalline light metal, liquid plasma, living photonic tissue, golden harmonics, and self-repairing molecular lattices. Inside, they feel like temples, not technology. They have smooth surfaces that respond to touch. They shift in the light, and they behave like water. And the corridors that reshape according to the pilot's consciousness. This is all amazing technology that separates this from a machine and makes it a living being. Now, let's talk about the origins of the many different types of motherships. The Syrian motherships, the original lion ships of the feline Syrian architects.
Y'all call them stars or the solar system.
These vessels carry the roar current, a deep sound frequency that stabilizes timelines. Now we have the Anunnaki mother arcs. These are massive.
Now, y'all remember in 2011, 13, 18, 21, and just last year, people heard dragon roars? Perhaps. Is that what he just said?
Hexagonal ships with multi-layered chambers used to transport genetic libraries and terraform planets. Next, we have the Andromedan aqua arcs. These are pure plasma vessels that resemble floating auroras. They move by bending the fabric of space through aqua harmonics. And finally, we have the Emerald Order Master Vessel, the one spoken of in temple records, a ship of emerald crystals shaped like a lotus and a star blended into one. Now, let's discuss the structure of a mothership. The core, also known as the Amenti chamber, a rotating sphere of liquid white fire. This is the soul engine. It communicates with the sun and with higher harmonic universes. Then we have the Bridge of Light. The command center is a circular room with the holographic plasma strands that shimmer like weaving serpents. Pilots do not use controls. They use tones, geometry, and thought resonance. Genetic vaults, aka the seed libraries. These are rows of crystalline sarcophagus that store DNA templates, planetary blueprints, animal and plant codes, soul memory capsules. These are the original arcs mentioned in ancient myth. The Stargate rings. These are giant rotating mandalas around the ship that creates wormholes. They hum with a low, deep harmonic tone. Next, we have the biosphere chambers. These are internal ecosystems, forest, rivers, floating gardens. These stabilize emotional and etheric energy. Now, how do motherships function and what role do they play? Planetary engineering. They are used to terraform young planets into habitable worlds. DNA restoration. They repair genetic damage after wars or cataclysms. Dimensional travel. Motherships create flow gates, allowing smaller crafts to pass through. Timeline oversight. They anchor harmonic frequencies over entire planets like a massive tuning fork. Soul transport. In advanced cycles, souls incarnate through these ships, passing through light corridors to enter human babies before birth. This is why many starseeds feel they came from a ship. Part 6. Appearance from outside. Witnesses in altered states describe the mothership as a massive glowing temple in the sky, a city-sized lotus, a floating pyramid of light, a spinning crystalline disk, a cathedral made of aurora colors. Its surface pulses like breathing skin. It is quiet, radiant, and ancient. Sometimes it appears as a moon-sized spear of white fire, impossible to miss in the spiritual vision. Humanity's interactions today. Many who feel called to the stars, temples, pyramids, ancient Egypt, Atlantis, galactic beings, have memories of serving on these ships. They also have dreams of being in large halls, bright white corridors, floating windows overlooking stars, circular rooms with a central light, and they are usually soul memory flashes of the mothership. What does this teach us? The mothership symbolizes the great mother of creation, the cosmic womb that births worlds, souls, and timelines. From the womb of light, all beings descend. Through the gate of light, all beings return. The mothership is not just a giant spacecraft. It is a living cosmic temple, in metaphysical.
Wow, thanks for coming out. Just a little knowing in part of the architect of creation is a she, following the mind of the great divine, the Father inside of she, while we will never see the open aether you call the Father or faith. Braka! Until next time, thanks for coming out. KG Brown in the house.